Welcome to Mr. Mars 3-Minute History. Quick summaries about a range of different history topics. Today we're going back to the time of the Cold War and we're looking at the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall was arguably the most famous symbol of the Cold War, showing the divide between East and West. Long before the Berlin Wall was built, Berlin was the scene of great tension between the East and the West, America and the Soviet Union. This went back to the end of World War II. At the end of World War II, Germany and Berlin themselves were divided 4 ways. Britain received a section, America a section, France a section, and the Soviet Union their own section. However, the Western free Allies ultimately joined theirs, and this caused fury from the Soviet Union, who believed that they were being pushed out of Germany. They also in fact wanted control of all of Germany. The Soviet Union were especially angry because Berlin was in their section of Germany, and this gave the Western Allies control of part of the Soviet Union's area. The first tension this led to was known as the airlift. The Soviet Union tried to force the Western Allies out of Berlin by blocking off their section of Berlin and not allowing anything in or out. This resulted in what was known as the airlift, when the Allies simply flew goods in instead. Later, the Soviets tried to push the Western Allies out of Berlin and then ultimately out of Germany in what was known as the Berlin Ultimatum. When the Allies refused to do so, it led to the building of the wall. On the 13th of August 1961, Berliners woke up to the fact that overnight a barrier had been erected. Initially, this barrier was really a fence and barbed wire, but over time it developed into a sophisticated wall system. This wall system would stretch 91 miles, surrounding the western part of Berlin. In fact, there was more than one wall. There was actually 2 walls. There was the wall that immediately divided the western side from the eastern side, but then there was also what was known as the death strip, connected to another wall, which was a section in between the 2 walls to make it more difficult for people to escape. Life behind the wall was very difficult. East Berliners, like others under Soviet control, had their freedom extremely restricted. A group of secret police known as the Stasi would try and keep an eye on people and arrest, and even in some cases kill people that tried to oppose them. Because of this, there were many attempts to try and escape the wall. Some people dug tunnels, and some people found other methods. Indeed, the last person who died trying to escape the wall did so in March 1989 when his balloon crashed. In total, at least 140 people were killed trying to escape the wall, although some researchers believe the figure is much higher than this. In the end, the wall was actually a problem for the Soviet Union. It was an embarrassment because it suggested that people were not supportive of communism and could only be made to stay through force rather than persuasion. Over the years, numerous American presidents demanded changes, including Ronald Reagan, who instructed the Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev to tear down this wall. And gradually pressure was growing on the Soviet Union, not simply in Germany, but all across much of the Eastern Bloc of Europe that they controlled. November 1989 proved to be the end of the wall. The East German government had taken the decision to increase the number of people who could travel to the West. However, mistakes in the way they communicated this resulted in the announcement that people could travel freely from east to west and back again. As a result of this, huge crowds turned up at the wall and forced their way through. People started to gradually dismantle the wall, and over the following few months, the wall itself was brought down. Nowadays, only some small sections of the wall remain as a history piece, as the rest has been destroyed.